Hey everybody, it's Steven GetMoneyMyrick here. Today we're going to be doing an account review of one of the newest members of the Revenge Guild, our Woochy. Woochy is from Nepal, so that's pretty cool. It just really shows how international this game is. If I showed you guys where my viewers are from, it just blows my mind every time. Our guild is super international. But if you're not aware, Server 23 had a Revenge and Server 22 had a Revenge. And so those two guilds combined and put the strongest players into one guild, and then the next strongest into Server 22 Revenge. And then we had a sister guild, Pantheon, that I was in that is now our third guild. So we're making a big powerhouse of guilds on Server 22 and Server 23. So Woochy is part of the Server 23 Revenge. He's got over 22 million guild power. Like I said, he's from Nepal. He actually took over this account back in November when one of his guildmates quit. He himself, the account manager, has been playing it for over 4 years now, and he just asked, hey, can you go look at my account? Tell me what you may want to do with it. So in this video, we're going to be just looking at the heroes he has, the artifacts he has, the suggestions I would make if I was managing the account, things that I would prioritize, kind of where his progress is at, and we'll just see if we can help him at all. I did want to give a quick thank you to all my viewers. I'm getting really close to 1,000 subscribers now, so if you're watching this channel and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so let's start by looking at his progress of where he's at. You can see that he has cleared all of Seal Land. He's got all the Seal Land clears, which is important. You can see he's also cleared all of Aspen Dungeon. He's got the highest achievement you can have on campaign. Obviously, he has cleared Broken Spaces, obviously cleared Tower of Oblivion. So, from a 22 million power VIP 13 account, it's definitely what you expect as far as completion. The biggest thing that he has not completed yet is he has not made it to Valiant right now. He's still an Explorer, and as we look at his heroes, you'll see why, and I definitely think that's the next direction this account wants to be going. So a quick overview of the heroes he has. You can see he has 26 E5 heroes along with an E3 Olivia, an E2 Michelle, a 10-star Four Seasons and 10-star Ignis, 10-star Inosuke for Inosuke cheese, which he could be working on, which is pretty cool. But there are a few notable exceptions, things that are missing in my opinion. The number one is, he does not have an E5 Ignis. He only has one 10-star Ignis. He doesn't have the E5 Four Seas, which is extremely helpful in PvP. And he also does not have a second Tix. And he definitely has, a strong enough account and some very good resources that working on those heroes could definitely help him. With regard to imprints, he has a V4 Halora, he's got a V3 Russ, and then both of his Sherlocks are at V1. Sherlock can be extremely powerful at V1 for PvP. Not super good in all the other modes, but having them at V1 is super great. But that's all he has. Within his bag, he also has a sphere, which I won't blow on Stellar Shards, but I would strongly recommend spending these on Stellar Shards in order to get some more. Yeah, one of the things I think is really important is working on getting more void-enabled heroes, especially just getting V1. When you have this much food, food's a strong word. When you have this many E5 heroes, but you have so few void imprints, it's really hurting your progress in the void arc. You could be getting better resources from every planet, by having a V1 hero. And so that's why, on my personal account, I'm really trying to concentrate on just having 15 heroes and maxing out the imprints on those. Obviously, it's much more than 15 E5 heroes and lots of opportunities for food. Potentially one of these Garudas here could get regressed and use that for food to void enable some heroes. Heart Watcher really doesn't need to be E5 unless you're doing some crazy stuff in PvE. Delacium really doesn't have a place right now, and especially another 10-star Delacium. And obviously Michelle is sticking out like a sore thumb because she's just not really needed at all. So if she could be swapped into something else, you don't really want to regress a light hero, obviously, but swapping her into a Russ or into some other powerful hero would also be good. The final thing is the Olivia here. Olivia has become pretty hot recently because of how good she is in the Void Lord. So you may look at it and say, well, he should make an E5 Olivia to help him in the Void Lord. And he definitely could do that if he wanted. I'm not going to do that for him. But personally, I asked him, how are you doing against the Void Lord on Sector 6? And he said he's getting 20% right now on his attacks, right? And all you have to do is be able to clear the Void Lord within 4 days. And so there's no real reason for him to make his Olivia E5. And put the resources into that. He could get her up and then swap her for another champion, like a third Rogan, or he could regress her. Personally, I would just keep her the way she is right now. But if he needed some food, maybe regress her and put it towards more void imprints. So counting up all the Stellar Shards that Woochy has right now, if you include the sphere in his bag of Stellar Shards, he's sitting at 7.7 million Stellar Shards. And so if I was him, what I would do is I would regress this Halora from V4 down to the V3. Obviously, she's most powerful and most potent in PvP at V4. But that would free up, 2.7 million stellar shards that he could use. And specifically what I would do with that is I would probably V1 or V2 a Thaqua, V1 a Rogan, V1 another Rogan, V1 in my second Russ, I would V1 a Drake, and then maybe V1 or V2 Ticks. I would definitely concentrate on that and start putting those resources towards getting more Void-enabled heroes to get further in the Void arc. One thing I did want to cover is, there's not a ton of hoarding going on this account. You can see like his 5-star heroes here, like he does not have very much going on as far as what's in his hero slots. Looking at his bag, it's also not too bad, relatively speaking. You can see there's a bit of food in here, some 4-star shards that should definitely get cleared up, but I've definitely seen worse accounts. A few things that do stick out though, obviously this is a lot of 5-star shards to be sitting on. This is 89 5-stars right here that you could have. That's an entire 10-star that you could use to void enable one of your heroes. The other thing that's really sticking out is the number of 4-star shards. And I know they're a pain in the butt to go through and create 4 stars out of them and then make 5 stars out of them. But at 63,533, that's 264 5-stars. Right, so that alone, is going to be another 4 10-stars to void enable heroes. So between those two, you're looking at, just 5 right there. And altogether, if he did all the food in his bag, he's sitting at 492. He's sitting at a total of 589 5-stars, 492 of which are not light dark. So he could get up to 7 10 stars, almost 8 10 stars with that amount of food. So again, all those 10 stars could be put into Void enhancing his heroes, making them stronger and gain more resources in the Void arc. But overall, yes, that's a lot of 4-star shards, but he's doing a really good job at cleaning up. It's not anything crazy like he's sitting on, multiple E5s. And there's not a ton of food around, and he's keeping his bag relatively clean. A few other things, just looking at his bag here, again, you can see he's doing a relatively good job at the 6-star chest. You can see he's got a total of 5 of them. He's got a few hero selection chests, but not too many. A few of the light and dark ones, which are hard to use, especially like these ones, I think. When there's not really a hero that you necessarily want there right now. Probably makes sense to hold on to these, honestly, until we get more information about what the next Transcendence heroes from light or dark. But one thing that is standing out are these skin shard boxes. You can see he's sitting on 5 of them. And I have this problem as well where, I don't really have a need for them, so they just sit in my box. But that being said, he has an Olivia with no skin on him, and he has a Russ with no skin on him. So if I was him, I would definitely go ahead and crack those 2. And I'd go ahead and crack the other 3, honestly, because you can use them, to make your legendary skins as just food for that. So there's no benefit to keeping in there. Like, again, I have this problem where... did you guys see that? I'll show you in just a second here. But I have this problem where, I sit on these because I think I need them. But in reality, you might as well just get them for food and make legendary shards. Okay, so what I was scrolling down is I just have in the notes, he's sitting on 323 basic tavern quest scrolls. There's really no reason to hoard these whatsoever. I know it's a pain in the butt to go through and crack them all. But between that and the 53 senior quest scrolls, definitely needs to get on. Just doing those, that's free resources, free gems that he could be getting. Running through the artifacts real quickly, he's got a Splendid Demon Bell, he's got a Splendid A and B, 1-star Candy Cane, Radiant Crown. What else we got? And I got another Splendid Demon Bell, Splendid Receptor, Glittery A and B, Splendid Staff Punisher, Splendid Antlers Cane. What else we got? Anything else exciting going on here? Another 1-star candy bar. Is that it? I think that's... Oh, and then we have the Magic Stone Sword, glittery Magic Stone Sword on Inosuke. So definitely some very strong artifacts on that account for sure. So based on what I'm seeing, like the number one thing I'd be focusing on him, if I was him, is I'd be focusing on getting to Valiant. Having those 2 Splendid A and Bs would be huge. I would V3 my Halora, V4 my Ticks, put a Splendid A and B on Halora, put a Splendid A and B on Rogan, put some energy on a carry, and go to town on trying to get to Valiant. I think his account is strong enough to get there. It will cost some gems, but maybe use some of those basic scrolls to get some more gems out of everything before you go. But he should definitely be able to clear it with that. He does only have a 10-star Ignis right now, but he does have 4 copies in his bag, and he has some hero selection chests with them. So he could build two 10-star Ignises, or he could make an E5 Ignis and a 9-star Ignis. Both of those should work. I mean, obviously an E5 Ignis and a 10-star Ignis would be best. But with the power of those splendid Demon Bells, I think he'll be able to get there with enough energy and setting up his team right. And all those extra Stellar Shards, all those extra Crystals of Transcendence will be huge. And again, he has enough Stellar Shards that he could V3 Halora, V4 Tix, and V1 Rogan. With Athakwa, one thing I want to say is, a lot of people are concentrating on her right now because of how good she is against the Void Lord, and that's definitely fair. But remember, your goal with doing the Void Lord is not to see how much damage you can do against it. Unless you're a content creator and you just want to show how powerful your account is, like, that's great. But your goal is, like, you have to be able to kill Sector 6 within 4 days. So as long as you're doing enough damage, doing 10% or so per attack, then you're fine. And obviously, the more you upgrade your account where you can do more attacks, the more attacks you'll get, so you can do even less percent of damage. So as Athakwa is not void enabled right now, I would maybe V1 her just to get some more buffs to things, and obviously at V2 she does do more damage. But if you're able to clear Sector 6 with just a V1, or even just as a plain E5 with all the other powerful splendid A and Bs that he's got going on, where you could feed her energy, and with Ignis feeding her energy, like, that's what you want to aim for. And so it goes back to like my comment with Olivia, like, yes, you can E5 Olivia and you'll be able to do more damage, but like, is it really worth it, right? It's not worth it, honestly, in my opinion, if you can still clear the Sector 6 Void Lord. So that's my review of Woochy's account. Shout out to Nepal. Overall, I think he's in a good spot. I do think he definitely needs to make a valiant push. He's doing a good job about keeping his 5-star hero count relatively low, but there's definitely opportunities to avoid imprint and V1 some more heroes. That's really going to help you in the Void Arc, getting more adventure tokens to get higher in the finishes, getting more, Nova Crystals, more of every other resource. I think just concentrating on having like 15 really strong heroes is way more important now than having a bunch of, just E5 heroes that aren't void imprinted. If you can, in the comments, make sure to let Woochy know how much you appreciate him volunteering this account. He's been a great guy to talk with. He's actually, fun story about Woochy, he was like my first like fan in the wild. Like, we invited him to our Discord channel that we have for our own guild, and he actually like recognized me as like GetMoneyMyrick from YouTube. And it was like one of those moments where I felt like super famous. It was like my 5 minutes of fame, like, oh, I don't know you, but you know me. Like, that's really cool. So yeah, Woochy, shout out to you, shout out to Revenge. Obviously do whatever you want, but this is just my opinions on what I would do if I was running the account. And that's all I have for this video. Go out there, get valiant, Woochy, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.